So for today's video, I thought I'd feature a plant that is not a Hoya. I tend to focus on my Hoyas all the time because I absolutely love them, but I do have some other amazing plants that I wanted to share with you. I have Casper here. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that this little monster has a very high prey drive, and he has been going after all the baby birds, rabbits and everything, and I've been like on a crusade to try and save them. And I think I broke my little toe in the process. I put a picture here of my little toe. So I tripped running after him yesterday. So now he has to be chained up, and I have also ordered like a light mesh muzzle for him to hopefully stop him from killing all the little baby animals. Like, he's so cute, but he has, like, I have had schnauzers now for what, 12 years, and they do have a prey instinct, but his is like off the Richter scale. He is so bad. So I know he doesn't mean it out of badness, that's their nature, but anyway, he's giving me a run for my money today. So without further ado, let's get into the video and I'll show you some of my beautiful babies. Hi, my name is Grania and this is my channel Jungle Flowers Canada. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm going to show you non-Hoyas today, and I hope that this will be something you're interested in. I've had some of these for a couple of years and some of them are newer acquisitions, but I love each and every one of them. So I'm not going to start in any particular order, I'm just going to grab what's closest to me. So the first plant is the Anthurium clarinervium. This is a beautiful plant, and I bought this in Kim's Nature, I'd say 2020 I got it, and I actually bought two of them. I'll just show you, she's really quite full, and I'd like her to be bigger, like I'd like the leaves to get bigger, but she's here in the corner of my dining room, so is not getting probably the best light that she could get. But she's very, very happy. I have had spider mites on her, which I have treated successfully, thankfully. But other than that, she really is, if you want an anthurium that is absolutely no work, this is your guy, or girl, whichever. I love this plant. So next up is my Syngonium mojito. So I have been on a bit of a Syngonium kick, and I have quite a few Syngonium. But this was just the handiest to grab today, so I wanted to show you. It has the most beautiful mottling on the leaves. I did take a cutting of this recently because it was getting very tall, and I hope to goodness it is focusing on these leaves for you, but it really is a very gorgeous plant. The only thing I find about having so many plants is that they kind of blend into each other, and you don't always get to appreciate the beauty of the leaves. So I literally just potter around all day in my plant windows looking at each and every one of the leaves, and like they're all so beautiful and so unique. But I just think this is a particularly gorgeous Syngonium. So the Syngonium mojito. Let's put some of these over to the other side. So next up is my Florida Ghost, and this is a relatively new acquisition also. And the leaves on this, Casper, the leaves on this are absolutely gorgeous. Now I know some people's are whiter when they come out. Again, this is not the brightest room in my house. I do supplement with grow lights, but you know, you can see it has lovely shading on it, but you know, it's not as white as I have seen others be, but I still think it's gorgeous. And I did order what I thought were Florida Ghosts like 2 years ago, and turns out they were Florida Greens. So I'm really happy to have finally gotten this plant. There is its newest leaf. You can see it's much lighter in color than the others. Next up, like this is definitely one of my favorites, and whoops, it is the Alocasia Frydek. Even people who are not into plants, oops, I'm trying to see what I'm holding there to you. Even people who are not into plants love this plant when they come into my home. Everybody comments on her. She is doing beautifully. I probably have her 2 years, so you can see she is maturing up really well, and she has put out 2 new corms on the bottom. I just think this plant is absolutely stunning. The velvety leaves are amazing, and she is so easy to grow, guys. So easy to grow. Now, one that I don't feature very often, and I really should because it really is a beauty, is my Thai constellation. I really don't feature her enough, do I? You can see here I have some beautiful sectorial variegation on one, so there's 2 or 3, I can't remember if there's 2 or 3 cuttings in here, and so one of the cuttings has quite sectorial variegation, and then the other is more typical of Thai constellation, and it has the flecks on it. I imported this from Thailand, well, the mother plant of this from Thailand. I'm trying to position her so you can see her. She's quite heavy. So I imported the mother plant of this from Thailand in March 2018 for the grand total, can we have a drum roll, for $36 in 2018. So you can imagine I am very pleased to have this. I have had absolutely no issues with this plant, no root rot. No, I have had, did I have thrips on this? I can't think if I had thrips on this one. I know I've had them on my regular Monstera. This little shit is eating the soil out of my plants. Casper, get! Look at his face, look. Soil on his face, can you see? You see it there? He is like so bold. I have had dogs since I got married, and I'm married 37 years, and he is the hardest dog I've ever had. I adore him, but by goodness does he give me a run for my money. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down, 5 to go. Actually, I have a bonus little plant for you. So here we have my Monstera standaliana, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen I posted this last night. So Paula, my friend Paula, who you hear me talk about, gave me a 1-leaf cutting of this a couple of months ago. Like, I don't think it was that long ago, and it just took off. Now, I did have it in my kitchen window, and in the winter it was on a heat pad. My kitchen window is southwesterly, so it really is a perfect location for plants. But this just took off, and I laughed because she actually made a comment to say that mine is actually bigger than hers now. But isn't it beautiful? I even love the way it's growing. So I think you can extend these. So I'm going to put another one up here, and maybe eventually I'll put it on a moss pole, but for now I'm loving the way this is looking. So the Monstera standaliana. Now next up is my Paraiso Verde. So I want to give you, look at how gorgeous that is. I'm hoping that you can see that. I want to give you some care tips on this baby. This plant needs heat to put out variegated leaves. So you can see over the winter, well, just early spring, these plants came out, and they're not as variegated as the others. They are variegated, but not as variegated as the others. But prior to this, I got some green leaves. So there is somebody on Instagram, and I can't think of his name to give him credit. I did see it, and Paula mentioned it to me as well, that they most definitely need heat. It's probably one of the most important things. Well, heat and light, but they need to be warm. So I have sourdough bread. I'm making sourdough bread there, and my timer's just going off. If you're not getting variegated leaves, guys, make sure they're getting enough heat, because that apparently is crucial to the variegation on these plants. I have to stop for a second because I have to fold my dough for my sourdough bread, and then I'll be back. Okay, that job is done, guys. By the way, if you do want to learn how to make sourdough bread, I do have another channel which I've had since 2013. I don't really post to it very much anymore, but I do have a recipe on there on how to make the starter for sourdough and how to make sourdough bread. So I will put a link in the description if you want to see that. I'll pop a photo up here of what sourdough bread looks like when it comes out of the oven. It's truly scrumptious. So anyway, let's get back to business. So we've done the chorizo verde. Where is my, oh, I forgot a plant. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so here is my philodendron pink princess, and this is its newest leaf. So you can see there's a little bit of variegation on it, but nothing too amazing to write home about. I can't see, there may be some on this one too. So you can see the variegation seems to be on the back, but it's very hard to get it to come through to the front. And I think this is why this plant has been so disappointing for people, because it's a great grower, grows like crazy, but it's so finicky. It just puts out the very odd pink variegation. Like you can, like I say, you can see it sometimes on the back, and you'll see it starting to unfurl, and you're like, oh yippee, I got a pink leaf, and then the front is green. So do I love this plant? No, I'm not totally enamored by it, but I have it, and I wouldn't get rid of it. I just keep it because it's, I like to have it in my collection, but it definitely isn't a showstopper because it's the variegation is just too irregular. But anyway, that is my philodendron pink princess. So here is my philodendron tiger tooth ring of fire. And if you have been following me, you will know that this has been a journey. So I imported these in the fall of 2019. I actually imported quite a few of them, and I lost a lot of them. And I was left with 2. One of them is still tiny, but it's still alive, and then I have this one. So I vacuumed this in error. I wasn't vacuuming the leaves, guys, I was trying to vacuum around it, and I took off all the leaves. So it was like literally just a stump, but as you can see, it has come back. Now I wish it was more orange. I do have it in my kitchen window, which is the brightest spot in my house, but you can see there's lovely flecking on it, but it's not really that orange. I wish it was more orange. It's more of a yellow, isn't it? But I still love it. It has a sentimental value to me because I worked so hard to keep this plant alive. So when I bought these, they weren't overly expensive. I can't remember what I paid for them, but then they went through the roof. Like, they went into the hundreds of dollars, and now I think they're starting to come back down again. So this is one of those plants that went on that ridiculous cycle, as did the pink princess. Now I have seen pink princesses for like $25. So this was one of those that peaked, and then it quickly started to decline in price again. I'm not sure how much it is. It's not readily available. You're not going to walk into your local garden centre and find it. I know now you can get like the white knight and the white princess, the pink princess. You can pick them up now locally in garden centres. But this is something you're still not going to be able to pick up really in your local garden centre, but you can get them on Marketplace for a much more reasonable price. So, the philodendron tiger tooth ring of fire. Oh yes, I know what I wanted to show you last. So this is what I imported. I hope I don't damage it here. So I imported this as a Spathiphyllum walleniana, but I know they sell it here now under a different name, which it just hasn't computed to my brain yet. So in my mind, it's still, did I say Walliana? Wallisii. Wallisii, yes. Again, I imported this from Thailand probably 2 years ago, and it is a plant I love. I am not crazy about the green Spathiphyllum. I have a domino. I love my domino, or peace lily as it's more commonly called. But I do particularly like this one. It is as big a diva as other peace lilies. If you don't water her, she droops very quickly. So she's dry now. You really do need to keep her moist. But I just think she's really pretty. But what I do love about this is her flowers come out green. They're like a lime green. And I just think they're gorgeous. They're different from the white ones that you get on other peace lilies. So here we have the Spathiphyllum Willisii. I nearly forgot the name again, but it is cute. Now I have a bonus plant for you. I got these, there's 2 seedlings in here. I got these from Amy, from Wolfgang's mama. If you're not following her, you need to go over and check her out. I absolutely love her, and her videos are amazing. So she sent me 3 seedlings. We did a plant swap. We're actually going to do one again. If you watched my last video where I got scammed by an Indonesian exporter, there were some plants in there that I had ordered that I was going to send to her, but unfortunately I haven't got them yet. He did reach out to me, by the way, if you just a quick update, but you know, saying, oh, I will send you plants, I will send you plants, but the seeing is believing, so I'll keep you updated on that, but I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, there were some lovely plants in that I wanted to send her in our next swap, but unfortunately I don't know if that's going to happen now. I do have others I can send her though. But anyway, let's get back to business. This here is an anthurium. It is a hybrid that she pollinated herself, and I think it's a crystallinum forgetii, but if I'm wrong I'll put it on the screen. So they were tiny. I think, when did we do that swap? It was before Christmas. I had them in my prop box and they were tiny, tiny, tiny. They were rooting, but they were tiny. So I gave one to Paula and she put hers in her IKEA cabinet. And when I went to her house and saw how big hers had grown, I'm like, oh my God, mine are still tiny. So I took them out of the prop box and I put them into my IKEA greenhouse, and they started to take off, and look at them now. So it is really growing. They're both really growing beautifully. The roots are, look, fabulous. And I definitely think they didn't like the higher humidity. Even though there is humidity in my cabinets, I don't have any humidifiers in my house, guys. It's just the regular humidity of my home. And sometimes that can be like 30 or 40 degrees, 30 or 40%. I do not run humidifiers. I do run a humidifier in my greenhouse when I remember, but it only takes the greenhouse to 60%. It can't go any higher than 60%. So in my cabinets, I don't have humidifiers either, but they can go between 50 and say 70%, depending on the time of year. So the most humidity this would probably ever get would be between 60 and 70%. And I really think they prefer that. I don't think they like the high humidity of the prop box. So it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not a great grower of anthuriums. I have a few. I can't say that they are doing amazing. They're alive, they're doing okay, but I'm not the greatest grower of anthuriums. But I love this and I think it's doing so well. So shout out to Amy and thank you so much for sending it to me. I absolutely love it. So there are my 10 plants plus my bonus plants. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you watched till the end, oh my gosh, I always get tongue-tied when I try to say this. Don't forget to put the green heart emoji in the comments. And thank you so much for giving me the time out of your day. I truly appreciate it. I absolutely love all of you. All those comments I get from the same people all the time with your wonderful encouraging words. I absolutely love to hear from you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Even if you're an occasional, even if you've only watched once, thank you so much for joining me. You take care and have a wonderful day.